FTP, or File Transfer Protocol, is one of the earliest and most widely used protocols for transferring files over a network. It operates on the application layer and relies on TCP for reliable data transmission. FTP uses a client-server architecture, where the client initiates a connection with an FTP server to upload or download files. It requires authentication through a username and password, but also supports anonymous access for public file repositories. The client initiates the transfer, whether uploading or downloading files, while the server, which is a remote host, processes the request. FTP operates on port 21 for control commands, managing connections and authentication. It uses separate channels for control and data transfer, improving efficiency, but requiring additional firewall configurations. While FTP is widely used for managing remote files, it lacks built-in encryption, making secure alternatives like FTPS and SFTP preferable for sensitive data transfers. FTP uses separate control and data connections to manage file transfers efficiently. The client first establishes a control connection with the server on port 21, where authentication and command exchanges occur. Once authenticated, the client can browse directories and request file transfers. When a file transfer begins, the server opens a second TCP data connection on port 20 to send or receive the file. After the transfer is complete, the data connection is closed while the control connection remains active for further commands. This dual connection approach allows FTP to manage multiple file transfers while maintaining session control. FTP operates through a set of commands that facilitate file transfers and directory management. For example, the user and pass commands handle authentication by identifying the client and verifying access. The quit command closes the control connection. To establish data transfer, the port command specifies the port number. File and directory management is handled through commands like delete for deleting files, MKD for creating directories, and RMD for removing them. FTP responses are categorized by numerical codes that indicate the status of client requests. Codes that start with 1 are preliminary positive responses, indicating that a process is starting, such as opening a data connection. Those starting with 2 confirm successful actions, such as logging in or completing a file transfer. A code starting with 3 means further action is required, such as entering a password. Temporary negative responses codes start with 4 and indicate issues like unavailable files or connection failures. Codes starting with 5 signal final negative responses, meaning the request cannot be processed due to errors like authentication failure or syntax issues. Email operates as a client-server application involving 2 main components, the user agent and the mail server. The user agent or mail reader allows users to compose, edit, and read messages. Examples include Outlook, Thunderbird, and mobile mail clients. The mail server functions as a mail transfer agent, responsible for receiving, transmitting, and storing messages. It manages incoming emails by holding mailboxes for remote users. This structure ensures reliable message delivery by using dedicated protocols for sending and receiving emails across networks, allowing seamless communication between users worldwide. Email communication relies on specific protocols to transfer messages between clients and mail servers. SMTP is a push-based protocol used to send emails from a client to a mail server and between mail servers over the internet. POP3 and IMAP are pull-based protocols that allow users to retrieve emails from a mail server. The mail server receives messages from local clients and forwards them to the appropriate recipient's mail server. Clients use SMTP to send messages, while recipients use POP3 or IMAP to access and manage their emails. This system ensures reliable email delivery and retrieval across networks. SMTP, or Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, is used to send emails between mail servers and from clients to servers. It operates over TCP on port 25, ensuring reliable message delivery. The process consists of 3 phases: handshaking, where the client and server establish a connection; message transfer, where the email content is sent; and closure, which terminates the session. SMTP follows a command-response interaction, where clients send ASCII text commands and servers respond with status codes. SMTP is used to transfer email messages from a sender to a recipient through multiple mail servers. The process starts when the user agent sends an email to the local mail server using SMTP. The mail server then forwards the message to the recipient's mail server over the internet, also using SMTP. Once the email reaches the recipient's server, it is stored until the user retrieves it using an email access protocol such as POP3 or IMAP. SMTP ensures reliable message delivery between servers, while POP3 and IMAP allow users to download or synchronize their emails with their devices. When Alice sends an email to Bob, the process follows a structured sequence. First, Alice composes her message using a user agent, such as an email client. Once sent, the email is forwarded to her mail server, where it is placed in a message queue. The SMTP client in Alice's mail server then establishes a TCP connection with Bob's mail server and transfers the email over the network. Bob's mail server stores the message in his mailbox. Finally, Bob retrieves the email using his user agent, which connects to his mail server using an email access protocol like POP3 or IMAP. SMTP uses a series of commands and responses to transfer email messages. Each command is an ASCII text message like hello, which initiates the connection, or mail from, which specifies the sender's email address. The server responds with numeric codes, such as 250K, indicating the command was successful, or 550, indicating an error like a failed delivery. An email message consists of two main parts, the header and the body. The header contains information like the recipient's email address, the sender's address, and the subject of the email. This is distinct from the SMTP envelope, which contains commands such as mail from. The body of the email is the actual message, which is typically in ASCII text. SMTP is a simple yet robust protocol that has been fundamental to email transmission for decades. It uses persistent TCP connections to ensure reliable delivery, but it also has some limitations, such as the requirement for 7-bit ASCII encoding. When comparing SMTP to HTTP, remember that SMTP is a push protocol, whereas HTTP is a pull protocol, meaning that email is actively pushed from one server to another. While SMTP handles the delivery of email to a recipient's mail server, mail access protocols like POP3 and IMAP are used to retrieve email from the server. POP3 is simpler and downloads the messages to your device, typically deleting them from the server, while IMAP provides more flexibility by keeping the email stored on the server and allowing users to organize them in folders. POP3, or Post Office Protocol version 3, is a pull-based protocol that allows clients to retrieve emails from a mail server. It operates over TCP on port 110 and follows a command-response interaction. The communication begins with setting up a TCP connection, followed by client authentication. Once authenticated, the client can request a list of available messages, download or delete messages from the server, and then close the session. POP3 is designed for simple email retrieval, often removing emails from the server after download, making it suitable for users who access email from a single device. In POP3, the client interacts with the server using commands like user to specify the username and pass for the password. Once authenticated, the client can request a list of messages using the list command, retrieve a specific message with retr, or delete a message with dele. After the interaction is complete, the client ends the session with the quit command. The server responds to each command from the client with either OK to indicate success or ERR if something goes wrong. For example, after successfully authenticating with the user and pass commands, the server sends OK, allowing the user to proceed with listing or retrieving messages. Here's a simple POP3 example. When a user logs in, they issue the user command followed by their username and the pass command with their password. Once logged in, the user can retrieve a list of messages using list and then download specific messages using retar. After the interaction, the user quits the session and the server responds with OK. POP3 has two modes, download and delete and download and keep. The first mode removes the email from the server after downloading, which means the user can only access it from the device they used. The download and keep mode stores copies on different clients, though POP3 is stateless across sessions. IMAP, in contrast, keeps all messages on the server and allows users to organize them into folders, maintaining state across sessions.